We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
The history of mankind has seen an enormous set of discoveries, breakthroughs, and drastic changes that made the line of human development change its direction and move a completely different way.
Of any size, it has about 1 foot clearance on the ground. We're essentially on a very level place here.
The striving for development lies with the human genes and makes people aspire for new discoveries, improvements, and enhancements every day in their lives. With the processing evolution, people have revealed the secrets of nature and managed to go far beyond their physical and mental abilities, which should be made credit by the human curiosity and restlessness. All countries of the world had given birth to outstanding people who glorified them further on and remained in the memory of their predecessors forever. One can hardly be found in any stage of history when there were no researchers, scientists, or investigators who questioned the real state of affairs and tried to find out the unique truth that nature was concealing. No political nor social affair can be compared by significance to scientific discovery or breakthrough that changed people's understandings of the world they lived in and affected their feelings about their place and role in the universe that still remains a secret for humans.
Seeing mankind complete its first evolutionary steps into the universe, leaving the planet Earth and going forward into the universe.
Thus, a slightest step towards the truth may be considered an incomparable treasure that can be nurtured and preserved with all human effort possible. Speaking about such breakthroughs in the context discussing the U.S. history of the second half of the 20th century is essential to recollect the events of the 1969 that shuttered the overall humanity and influenced the whole development of events further in the course of the 20th century. It is surely that event that marked the beginning of the new stage of human history, not only in the previous century, but the whole course of history. Now, a quick word from our sponsor, Chipotle. You know, Chipotle makes some really great food, and I just want to say, thank you, Chipotle. You've been making me not hungry since day one.
So if you want to say, no, they didn't go to the moon, where were they going then? Do the math, okay? And you can look at how much fuel is in the rocket in all 3 stages, and you can calculate using what's called the rocket equation. It's enough fuel to go to the moon and come back. It's enough fuel to do that. So where do you think they were going? To like the local Piggly Wiggly to get groceries? No, they're going to the moon.
Hi, it's Hank here. Right now, I'm going to be going over a quick overview of all the Apollo missions as referenced to on NASA's online database. January 27, 1967, the first Apollo mission resulted in the death of 3 astronauts when a fire swept through the command module. Skip to Apollo 7, the first manned flight of the Apollo crew vehicle. Apollo 8, first time a human had circumnavigated the moon. Apollo 9, first crewed in-space operation of the Lunar Excursion Module. Apollo 10, flew to the moon and descended within 10 miles of the surface. And now, probably the most memorable, Apollo 11, the first landing on the moon. Here with me I have a newspaper from New York Times printed just days after the moon landing. In the article it reads, "The first men to reach the moon, Mr. Armstrong, and his co-pilot, Edwin E. Aldrin, brought their ship to a rest on a level, rock-strewn plain near the southwest shore of the arid Sea of Tranquility. About 6.5 hours later, Mr. Armstrong opened the landing craft's hatch, stepped slowly down the ladder, and as he planted the first human footprint on the lunar crust, he declared,
'That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.'"
And after that came Apollo 12, where the first colored TV images were taken of the moon. Then Apollo 13, the first disaster in space. The lunar mission was abandoned, but the crew was returned safely. And then came Apollo 15, using the first lunar rover. Apollo 16 continued research on the moon, and finally, the last mission ended with Apollo 17.
On the random facts section, that was Hank Green, I am John Green. We will be discussing the moon landing. We'll be discussing some random facts. Did you know in 1969 there was a moon landing? It was Apollo 11. But before that, there was also other missions into space, the Gemini and Mercury programs. And not only that, the U.S. was not first in space. You had the Soviets, and they sent a dog into space. I do believe the U.S. sent a chimpanzee. Isn't that right, Hank? Chimpanzee into space? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Hank said yeah. All right. So, another random fact. There was a man jailed for scootily pooping on moon rocks. Current event, that is from 2 Minute Drill. I would like 1 point of extra credit, please. Buffer. And then, not only that, but NASA is a part of the Air Force, and Air Force gets pilots to NASA, and that's where we get these astronauts from, Air Force. So yeah, it's come a far way, I'd say, from just Saturn V rockets and the Apollo program to now we have Virgin Atlantic. And it's all connected, and it's really beautiful, interconnected system that we have that is just growing on the field of modernization and globalization that we live up to today. From Virgin Atlantic and its missions to Mars, hopefully in the near future, to just private companies now sending satellites into space to the ISS. The moon landing triggered a whole set of events that have built and created a multitude of missions into space and new discoveries in all fields of science. So this event is very important for the world, for all of world history, for all of mankind. Thank you for watching.